What up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 27 of Fandom Spotlite, VCR, and bring them back to 2021. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always, well, not quite yet, but soon to be joined by my co-host, film professor Ian Klink, who's running a little bit late tonight. And of course, we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, our own honorary third host from Rick Barth and the Line. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mickey Torres is on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, coming to you courtesy of the Punk Rock Geek Den, James Young is on the show.
What's up?
We are here today to find that elusive pot of gold at the end of the direct-to-video rainbow. That's right, it's time to get Warwick Davis back spitting out rhymes and chopping off heads. But before we can give America a new reason to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we need to talk about just how Leprechaun came into our lives and what we love about it. We'll start with James, but that also goes for you guys watching at home. Hit us up in the live chat with your stories of discovering Leprechaun. So, James, we talking cable, VHS, rental, theaters? How did it happen to you first?
Honestly, I want to say it was a rental, because every Friday night when I was between the ages of like 10 to 13, I would go with my mom grocery shopping, and we'd always stop at the rental store, grab a movie, and then grab a pizza, head home. I want to say it was Leprechaun in the Hood was the first one I saw, because I saw Coolio was in it.
Oh, wow.
And I was a huge Coolio nut, right? So maybe around 10, 11 years old, I want to say. And then, well, 12 actually. Okay, 12 years old. Leprechaun in the Hood was the first one I saw. And then I decided to go and rent the first two the next week. And so that's where it all started for me. I was probably about maybe 12, 13 years old. So not that long ago.
I feel so old now because I was like an old man when the Hood movies were coming out already, you know.
Yeah, 2000. So yeah, I was 12 years old when that came out.
Yeah. Well, the second one was 94, right?
Yeah, 94, 95, I want to say.
So Mickey has a bit of a different entry point into this franchise. I did not know until we were getting very close to this episode that Mickey had not seen the Leprechaun movies and watched a couple of them to get ready for this episode. Mickey, you want to tell the people at home a little bit about that?
So, I mean, like, full disclosure, I knew about these movies because obviously as a horror fan, you got to know somewhat of everything, really. And I knew, like, obviously the Jennifer Aniston entryway. So, but I just saw the first two just recently on Peacock.
Don't ever say Jennifer Aniston entryway. That is just terrible in so many ways.
I mean,
it's Warwick Davis's show. All right, the Leprechaun should always be the point of entry.
Well, yeah,
don't quote me out of context on that either, please.
I feel like the first movie was basically a big LA Gear commercial.
What the hell is wrong with that? I ask you, sir, what is wrong with that?
If you take it like that, it's a hell of a commercial.
I mean,
oh my God, I definitely had LA Lights shoes back in the day.
Everybody did.
I didn't have any LA Gear. LA Gear to me was more of a girl sneaker.
So you were just like holding it down with British Knights.
I celebrated British Knights like.
This is now the sneaker episode of. There's some action in the chat a little bit already. Alex Bonafante is apparently excited. He says he has a pitch for us. We will get to that at the half-hour mark as always, Alex, but we appreciate you tuning in, buddy. Angie Saunders, Mashup Genius, along with Mike Saunders, both say hello and hey, guys. And our good friend Melanie Mullen says, nice shirt, Chris. So I'm already getting roasted for the Hawaiian shirts, but I had to go with green for Leprechaun. You just had to. She says she's also excited to hear which of the Leprechaun films Mickey saw on a date. And even though I asked him and he watched them recently, I'm guessing somehow he finagled, Mac Daddy Mickey finagled some date action in his Leprechaun sessions.
No, I didn't even want my girlfriend to like know that I watched these movies.
That's how ashamed he is.
So it wasn't a date so much as a mandate.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like I am the only one, at least so far, until maybe Ian shows up, that saw these movies in real time as they were happening. I didn't see the first one in theaters, but I saw it. I think I rented it as soon as it came out because I was very curious, and I knew it had Mark Holton from Teen Wolf in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, Chubby's in it. Like, I got, Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I got to check this out.
Yep.
And I liked the first one a good amount. I wasn't like, this is amazing, or, but like, I thought it was a pretty, darn good movie. I don't know why I said darn. But the second one I saw, I think it was like on demand, cable on demand, or like a hotel pay-per-view situation or something. Or it was like I was in a hotel and they had HBO, and it like made being stuck in Wisconsin for a little while a little bit better that weekend. So I watched Leprechaun 2 that way for the first time, and then habitually started renting it. It became one of those movies because I had to show all my friends the boob fan scene. That was like that was when I was like 10 years old. That was probably my favorite kill in a horror movie. That or the sleeping bag from Friday 7, because those are just two great ones.
That's classic.
But yeah, that's class. But that that fan kill has everything a stupid 10-year-old boy wants in a horror movie. But then honestly, the franchise really sunk in for me with the third film. And I know you didn't make it that far in, Mickey, which is sort of a shame. And hopefully when Ian gets in, he will have, some insight into those movies as well. But the third one is where they, a few things happen. One, it's no longer a theatrically released franchise, and now everything from the third one on is direct to video. And I like LA Gears. I say, what the fuck is wrong with that? And the answer is not a damn thing, because there's some great
completely 100% agree, Chris.
There he is. That is what I call a dynamite drop-in. The man himself, film professor Ian Klink.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Ian, I got a shirt for you, buddy.
Yeah, check out James's shirt.
All right. Well, this has been a great show. Bye, everybody. Like, I'm out. I can't.
Ian's shortest appearance ever. Thank you for stopping by.
Docking. Come
He'll
on.
be back same time next week, same docking time, same docking channel.
Ian,
7 billion bands in the world. One part of a band gets all this recognition.
Did you call them one part of a band?
Yes, I did.
That's
Chris.
amazing.
I
don't know, but I love the spirit of it.
Ian, this is how much of an asshole I am. I only bought this shirt. I only bought this shirt just to get on your nerves.
Hey, you know what? The only thing I appreciate is that Dawkins doesn't get a cent of that shirt, so I'm okay with all of it.
Yep, no, they do not.
So, Alex Bonafonte in the chat is very excited. He says Ian has arrived. Have you arrived with some stories of discovering Leprechaun, sir?
Oh, who doesn't have stories of Leprechaun? I mean, it's not America if you don't have a story about the Leprechaun series. First,
did you watch them in real time, as did I? Like pretty much when they were coming out?
Oh God, no! Listen, the first one I saw,
Standing Alone.
No. I saw Leprechaun 3 first. All right.
Oh, the best one.
Oh yeah, no, I saw Leprechaun 3 first. Then
that's what I should have just had Mickey do.
Yeah.
Mickey, give me. Anyway, so but no, it was Leprechaun 3, and then I remember USA showed Leprechaun the first one, and I didn't get it because I was like, oh, it's Jennifer Aniston. Like this, I'm young enough to not understand. Like, why is the Friends person in this movie? Like, I don't get it. Right? I was like.
Oh, I was just gonna say I had the fortune of not being aware of Friends or who she was the first time I saw Leprechaun 1. Yeah, I was just like, okay, she's just a girl in a horror movie,
Was Friends even a thing in 1993?
Yeah, I remember it was
maybe season 1 or something.
Yeah,
it's still relatively unknown.
I think actually, like right after that, like the Leprechaun thing was actually, or even simultaneous, was the Blossom show she was on, Mayim.
Yeah.
She was on that show?
Yeah, it's not Blossom. Before it was Blossom, it was just called Mayim.
Oh, like a Good Morning Miss Bliss type of thing?
Yeah. And she was Mayim Bialik's sister.
Okay.
On that show. And they lived like
played, I think, Ferris Bueller's sister on a Ferris Bueller show that didn't really go anywhere.
yeah.
I think you're right.
This is now.
Are
the
you talking
Jennifer
about
Aniston
Parker
season.
Lewis Can't Lose?
No.
No.
Not that. There was actually a show called Ferris Bueller that I think ran a couple episodes and tanked. You know, there were so many. Honestly, I could just sit around watching failed pilots and like failed, TV
They're
shows
the
from the
best.
80s for days. They're
They're the
incredible.
fucking best.
Oh yeah.
That's
They
the
are
thing.
absolutely the best.
But I will say this: then I went to the best one of all, and I know we're going to talk about it later. But Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun
space.
In
in
space?
space.
Beautiful, beautiful film.
I saw that. Then I saw Leprechaun 2, and
this is like the Star Wars ring order of
Yeah, you
watching.
definitely-
these.
it was
I love
it was not in order at all. But does it
This is
matter?
great. No, that's the way. No, that's the way you should.
really
I think you
doesn't.
found the correct. You've carved out a path, people. Start with 3,
yeah.
then
Go
do
to
what do you
1.
say? 1 and 2, and then 4.
Yeah.
and then just go right through the hood, man. That's because that's what it's all about.
You
Yeah.
bastard.
I
Oh.
mean, you got to watch the first one just for, again, the LA Gears commercial that it is. And Zach Morris's dad is in it too.
Yeah, he is.
Oh snap! That's right.
Good. Oh yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up because it's been bugging me.
Why'd you get so metaphysics about that? Chris? You're like,
Well, it's just like I don't know,
Yeah.
it just hit me different. It's like, wow, fucking Zach Morris's dad. Wow. We should
Derek Morris.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. The goddamn Morrises. They're huge.
Derek Morris.
Derek Morris. So there's
Derek Morris.
It's a crappy dad too. Too
Oh,
busy
cool.
selling computers to have time with his son.
we will get into the
Son of a bitch.
kind of where we rank each film shortly, but I do want to catch up with the chat. Alex Bonafonte says, pick it up, pack it up, fire it up. ...
Oh,
illegal hookup
man.
of Action Pay-Per-View Network.
Yes.
Angie Saunders says it was VHS, like always, the first time she saw Leprechaun. Mike Saunders says, I saw it on cable. Alex Bonafonte asks, has anyone ever cut the first film with I'll Be There For You? Oh my God, that is really genius.
Son of a
Someone should do that.
Oh,
from
that's
YouTubers, yeah.
genius.
Fandom Spotlight, we got to get on that. And our good buddy Dustin from Retro Fiend Radio says, what's up, boys? As a kid, me and friends rented it from the video store. That sounds like one
Yes.
hell of a 90s weekend.
See,
Oh,
this
hell
is
yeah.
how old I am. You said like, is anybody cut it with I'll Be There For You? And I'm thinking like Bon Jovi.
the Rembrandt.
Oh man,
I know. I got it.
I thought you were
later,
gonna say
but-
Jackson 5 for a second there. I thought you were gonna go real.
No,
old
the
school.
version by Dokken on album 7.
would still be a better movie than Leprechaun.
Alex
Oof.
Alex Bonafonte says my LA Gears became a biohazard circa 1990. Now that is
That's
that
a
is the beginning
shirt.
of it.
You should
No,
put that on a shirt.
Fuck the shirt. That's an action movie right there. I could write a whole like kids shooting guns action movie around that. Like something went with this kid's LA Gears. There's like
I mean, I swear, every time
microfilm or some James
That's a
Bond
mashup. Take the Heat poster. LA Gears.
every time she was walking, running, doing anything, it was a focus on the LA Gears. It was like if LA Gears was sponsoring that first
And
movie. Like,
denim.
literally-
And she was like all denimed out.
Yeah,
Like it was like
Canadian
first
tuxedo.
90s denim. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have made Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake proud.
But
Yeah.
can I just give a shout out though to Jennifer Aniston because she's one of the only actors who did these earlier horror movies and then like had a career who actually acknowledges Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh, she
True.
does.
She will
True.
acknowledge. She will talk about Leprechaun. She will
Oh,
address
that's
it. Not like Leonardo DiFardio, who's like, "Oh, I wasn't in Critters 3. Pfft, I didn't do that. Screw you. You cashed the check like everybody else, and you loved it, and you told your friends about it. I don't want to hear about it."
He
You had
omitted
the,
it
you had
from
the
his
Critters 3 laser disc. Stop
He-
lying.
Right.
he omitted it from his Oscar winning speech.
That's what I'm talking about. Not Jennifer Aniston. She's like, I love the movie. I did it. I get fan mail from it today. Hey, you have to do what you got to do. I give her
Yes.
credit for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all good. I love Jennifer Aniston.
No, yeah, she's fantastic.
Well, also in the chat, our buddy Dustin from Retro Fiend Radio says, "Yeah, 3 and 4 are fun. Always a good time when Brian Trenchard Smith is at the helm."
Yes,
Which does
it
remind
is.
me that Retro Fiend Radio again makes the most incredible canon and martial arts documentaries you will
The
ever find on the
best.
internet.
The
And they have a
best.
lot of BTS stuff coming up with Brian Trenchard Smith, no pun intended, with the BTS. But definitely stay tuned for that, guys. Also, he says they're total buds and studs flicks, which I think is a perfect way of describing the 90s for me.
Yeah.
Was, pretty much Van Damme and Leprechaun and all these guys, we'll get to the pitches and how they should all work together. But, I think it's kind of like Friday the 13th in a sense where no one's favorite is the first movie. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say the first Leprechaun's my favorite one. Unless maybe they really don't like any of them and they're just a huge Friends fan and they watch everything those people do. Like maybe that's the only time you would hear that.
Yeah.
But again, one didn't work for its own way. I thought again, it took itself a little too seriously. I don't know if you guys would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little tongue in cheek here and there, but I do understand what you're saying. Like they're trying to make a Robert Englund Freddy Krueger out of this Leprechaun character.
I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, like, and like, like in a bad way. Like, I mean, Evil Dead 2 is ridiculous, but it's fun and it's awesome and it's a classic.
Yeah.
Leprechaun 1 is ridiculous and bad in all the wrong reasons and all the wrong ways.
Leprechaun is a movie, if it was made in 1974, would have been serious and would have been in the drive-in and remembered for what it is today. I do agree on that. But the fact that they made it, Warwick Davis is having a great time and this stuff. I do agree though, the sequels, made it fun. I mean, he knew what he had. Warwick Davis was like, all right, you brought me back, let's rock this out. But it does. I agree. It does take itself just a little bit serious.
Just the fact that like a 4-leaf clover is his kryptonite.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking have something.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I know. But
I've never. I'll tell you what. I've been searching my entire life for both, and I've never fucking found a 4-leaf clover or kryptonite. So they're both They're both as mythical to me.
You sure won't find it in a Dokken album.
But you might find it in the English Patient.
Ooh, throwing shade. Right, I don't want to have to put you guys in separate
Time will
boxes.
tell on what movies last that have won the Academy Award that are epic. That one will stand the test of time.
We'll see about that. Let's get back to the Irish Patient if we can, though. I feel like we have to, you touched upon it a little bit, but like Warwick Davis, you can't say enough about it. He really takes over this franchise as time goes on and becomes the brand. And I know, I know other people have played, the Leprechaun, and I've met some of them. They're really nice people, but I haven't seen those films, so. Disclaimer at 20 minutes in that we won't really be talking about those films today. You're welcome to talk about it in the chat, of course. But this is about the Warwick Davis.
They're beautiful
Warwick Davis
people.
is what I just don't want to throw shade at any of those actors or anything like that. There's some other very talented.
Are you talking about like Leprechaun Origins or whatever? There was like a WWE.
And like there's another one. I just found out there's another one coming out. There's like Leprechaun Origins 2 or some shit. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Did Hornswoggle play a leprechaun?
Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
And Leprechaun Origins. Yep.
Wow.
You don't really see him though. That's the thing. They don't really show the leprechaun.
Yeah, and then they did it. They rebooted that again already, and that guy, whoever rebooted from that guy, is getting a sequel. I can't remember his name. I met the actor. He's a really nice guy too. Anyways,
it's Warwick Davis. It's Warwick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
It's like he's up there with Robert Englund. You know what I mean? Like he just owns this role to the fact that like I don't ever want to see anyone else try and play it. It's not anyone's fault. I just don't really want to see anyone else do it. I don't know.
No, makes sense.
But so when you get to the third one, I guess we should talk about the second one a little bit. The second one does take a few considerable steps in the right direction. I think you have, a little bit more of like a grounded teenage, lead and like couple to follow. There's a little bit of Marty and Doc action with the main character and the old guy. There's some much better kills in the second one. You get a little bit more magic. It's a little funnier, but it's still probably taking itself too seriously. And when you get to Vegas, I think is when things get just
that's when we start having fun.
Pure joy. And it's the cheapest Vegas I've ever seen in a movie, but you don't even care because it's so much fun. They pack it with that much fun that you don't even realize they shot this.
So Vegas, it's Ontario.
Yeah,
it's not even Ontario. It's like Omaha. It's like a VFW hall in Omaha that they like put some Christmas lights up in. It is, really, really not Vegas.
Well, because 3 makes the most sense because where would a leprechaun, again, as weird as it sounds, if you're taking the movie as serious, that's where it would be.
Atlantic City.
But see, I agree with you. Yeah, Atlantic City or Vegas, wherever it is, like.
But like you can't, no disrespect. I'm a proud New Jersey resident of like half my life, but Atlantic City doesn't sell in a movie title the way Vegas does. Vegas is understood around the world. Atlantic City is understood around the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't want you seriously. What are you?
New Jersey is known across the world, but not for the right reasons. There, Chris.
No, I'm just saying. Not as many people know Atlantic City as Vegas,
this is true.
In terms of like gambling and like all this craziness. Like to me, Atlantic City almost. I'd rather see that movie because it would have like hookers and like a lot more like junkies and homeless people and like more interesting things happening. And
to me, like they could have been in the hoods of Atlantic City.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be mad at that at all. Give you a combination of the hood movies and the Vegas movies.
Absolutely.
A little bit ahead of the pitching minute of the hour, but I'm all for it. Vegas and hood, Atlantic City. But the point that I was trying to make about Vegas was that it just the kills get ramped up to a level where it is like, all right, now the fun knob is cranked to 11 on this. Like everyone who dies, you want to see die now. And that was like sort of a crucial element that they should have grabbed that element of that movie and held on to it. Cause I didn't really feel that way about Space or Hood or any of those other movies. But everyone in 3 who dies is like an asshole or a prick. Or,
you want them dead.
Yeah, like they all did some fucked up shit. Like no one there was just like minding their own business and got fucked up.
I do love movies that do that. I gotta be honest, I really do. When you get the jerk who just gets it, it is so much sweeter. It's like having steak with just great ketchup. It's just good.
Ketchup.
And it was like
good.
Ketchup on okay.
Steak and ketchup on steak?
Oh.
Oh, come on.
No. You can have whatever sauce you want, Mickey.
No, you don't. If you do your steak right, you don't need sauce.
Well, sometimes, but man, that little sugary sweet of ketchup.
But au jus, you get like a nice au jus or like whatever.
Yeah, you
like,
pour that over the top.
Yeah,
that's fine.
not ketchup.
I ain't dipping my steak in shit.
Hey, when you grow up and you get Dollar Tree steaks, you live your lives, man. All right.
There's actually some now in the chat from Kyle. Ian is correct. Ketchup goes on steak. I would vehemently disagree.
You guys would be wrong.
And the perfect amount of ketchup, right? Is Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. That's where you just open up the bottle and just all over that steak, baby. Oh,
you can't smother that steak in ketchup.
Did you really like that movie, Ian?
Here's what I love about Leprechaun 4. Okay, let me just get it out there. All right, not a great movie. All right, well let's just be flat out honest. But you know what?
Get out of town.
But hey,
you don't say.
It tells you what it is, and it is not afraid to tell you right from the get-go what the title is. I mean, flat out, it's like we are literally on a cardboard set, and this is Mars, right? Like we're in space on the moon, but it's like cardboard cutouts in the background. And Warwick Davis is like, Yep, let's do this.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, like nobody's knocking down Warwick Davis's door saying like we got the perfect role for you. Like,
He
yeah,
don't care.
it's
He don't-
Leprechaun 4 or it's
And it's literally in space. It's not like Hellraiser Bloodline. Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
trick your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, look, space. No, it's literally like.
I agree. I
nope,
agree with you right
space.
there. Hellraiser is one of my favorite. Like, it's Hellraiser 1 is my favorite horror movie of all time, and that franchise has been poorly served for many years. So yeah, Bloodline was where I was excited to see Bloodline. We're not talking about that, but I'm just saying you are
First
very
off-
right. You are very
First
right. that
off,
it didn't
shut
come
up.
through.
Secondly, you did not see Hellraiser Hellseeker, obviously.
did.
Sir.
I
No,
did.
you didn't, Mickey. You're
did.
lying. You were lying to our audience.
I
right
saw
now.
them all.
You were just
Saw
saying
them
it.
all.
You're saying it to be that guy. Who's got
I
two
saw
thumbs and
them
is
all.
that guy? This guy.
Saw them all.
All right, let's get back to we were talking about seasoned steak.
Mickey,
I
we're
just
still
have
friends.
I have to talk about the potatoes thing from 3 before we can move on to like the
Oh,
hood movies
absolutely,
and
yeah.
wrap it up. I love that there's another thing they should have held on to, that he loves potatoes. And he had another weakness in 1 where they threw shoes at him.
The
and he had to
shoes,
shine
Yes,
his
I remember the shoes.
Yep.
They should
Um,
have kept that. I would have done that
they
all day
should've kept
long.
all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I like mythology and lore,
Yeah.
and this to me, should all be part of things, especially going forward. And we will get to that very soon. But I fucking love the potatoes gimmick. I love the way Warwick Davis plays it. I love the way that the fucking guy turning into a leprechaun plays it. Like it's
Mhm.
which is the weirdest part of 4, or excuse me, of 3. That makes almost no sense. But it does have my favorite kill. And I do want to ask all of you guys what your favorite kill is. I think mine honestly has to be the woman still whose breasts and butt just balloon until she bursts.
The
Like-
plastic surgery queen.
And that
Yeah.
is excuse me, the lead actress from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I forget her name. She's incredible though.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they really-
Caroline.
yes, I think McWilliams or something like that.
Yes, Caroline.
Yeah,
Williams,
she's
yeah.
amazing, and they really like doll her down and make her look,
Mhm.
so bad in that movie. She's really
Yeah.
she really looks amazing in real life. But
Yeah, she's a lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah, I mean
love
that was gonna be my kill too. I always loved that one.
It's
uh,
for me, it's a toss up between that and the pogo stick. I love
my
the pogo
God,
stick.
I forgot about the pogo stick.
Pogo
As
stick
soon
is
as
good.
as soon as he got the pogo stick, I just started laughing. I
Yeah.
was like, "This is amazing." Like, I don't care how he kills anybody the rest of this movie. That kill is worth
That's it. I'm done.
it.
Nikki, did you have a kill that was the least annoying to you watching?
I mean, yeah, the pogo stick was a good one.
the pogo
I'll
stick?
go with the pogo stick.
Other than the kills, I think, and again, this is one of those things that they did in 3. I don't think they did in Space, but they brought it back in the Hood, which by that point it seemed almost like pandering, but was the Leprechaun rhymes.
He
Yeah.
rhymed it all in 2 as well. Like 2's
Mhm.
where the rhymes really started.
Yeah.
Did he rhyme a lot in 2?
Yeah,
it's been
he
a
did.
minute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the rhyming thing is such a crucial, again, like just part of the mythology, part of the lore, part of the brand, part of what made me like love Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun and love these movies. And when Space hit VHS, I was there that weekend. That Friday night we got Space, we got a fucking Domino's pizza and a 6-pack of like Frappuccinos, and we were we were styling.
Oh man. Oh
The
man.
90s, what else was there to do?
Now I will say
Not a
this
lot.
though. I will say this. I think Leprechaun Back to the Hood sucked. I'll flat out say it. That one sucked. But Leprechaun in the Hood was genius because you take the Leprechaun series and they tried to basically be a blaxploitation movie from 1978. Like that,
Yeah.
like they I really think got close to doing it.
Do you have like
I-
was Tales from the Hood before
That was
this?
before, yeah,
Before
that was before
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked. Like I actually think the Leprechaun in the Hood works. Leprechaun
I-
Back to the Hood is like they tried to be Scream 3 in a Leprechaun movie, and it just doesn't work.
I'd agree with that statement.
Yeah, it just
to
didn't
me,
work.
to me, Leprechaun in the Hood and Back to the Hood or whatever, neither really connected with me the way the other ones did. And I think it just felt like it didn't feel as like I believe the person who wrote Leprechaun 3 had been to Vegas. I don't know who wrote Leprechaun. I don't know who wrote
This is
Leprechaun
certainly a gambler. I believe in this screenwriter.
No, but
He
like
definitely studied his surroundings while making this movie.
I don't know if the writer, and I could be fucking dead wrong, but it just felt like the studio like generic pitch room meeting or like some executive or investor's idea of what a hood movie should be. Didn't feel like I want like Leprechaun Boys in the Hood, like that, like real ass hood movie. Like I want it to be just like hard as shit. Like
I just want a cop to get Leprechaun and be like, I hate these kids.
Leprechaun to society.
Yeah, right. Like that's kind of what I wanted out of I mean, fuck yeah, menace to Lep, that's
new Leprechaun City.
Yeah, yes, dude, fucking A, yes. Oh my god, yes.
You could have a crack pipe. And he's like,
yes, like go for it. Really, like I appreciate stoner humor, and that's the one part I think of that and the rhymes that really did still work in the hood movies. But yeah, then they went away from Warwick Davis, and the franchise has been
stupidest mistake they ever did.
It's a revolving door ever since. I think we'll say it. I'll say it that way. I don't know if anyone's ever gonna have a run of 6 movies again. I mean, that's like shout out to that, because they did 6 movies in like fucking 8 or 9 years, really.
Yeah,
I think
very long.
11, 12 years. That's being at Trimark at one point and Vidmark at another, all these different kind of bouncing around. I think at Lionsgate it wound up being the hood movies, so meanwhile, this little offshoot brand had a run comparable to like the Friday the 13th run in the 80s or the Nightmare run in the 80s, where you do a shitload of movies in a short amount of time. And, you don't really see that too often. Saw would be the modern exception, that they had a lot of sequels pretty fast, and kudos to them. They've had the balls to keep, they had the balls to keep numbers in their titles for a really long time.
And Roman numerals too.
Yes.
Favorite.
Made out of severed body parts.
I almost had to put a Roman numeral on this graphic just for you, Ian, but I thought I'd go with the number 7, because they have never, I don't think they ever Roman numerals.
I'm telling you, stick with the series, right? Friday the 13th does Roman numerals. Leprechaun does letters, right? You stick with it, man.
That's right.
Or numbers, sorry.
Alphanumeric, whatever you want to call it. But we are past the half hour.
Shut up, Mickey.
You know what time that it's time for Ian to insult Nikki. No, we're past half hour, so you know what that means. It's time for pitches. I could pitch fucking Leprechaun movies all day. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say, and especially everyone at home watching. So now is the time to invade the chat with your Leprechaun stories, and I see some typing going, which makes me very happy. But who wants to fire the first shot here?
There's only one. There's only one.
Okay.
There's only one. We had Freddy versus Jason. I need Chucky versus Leprechaun.
Thank you, sir. I was gonna say this, and I have detailed and
Chucky would
thoughts.
Chucky would fuck him up. I'm just saying.
Wait a second.
Oh
no.
He would take his gold. He would take his gold, take his wife, take everything.
First of all, now you're gonna make me Ian. I'm gonna be very upset. This is a fucking goddamn knockdown, drag out, fight to the death, fist like evenly matched. Comparable style. Like, this is the fight I've wanted my whole life, and you're not going to tell me it's going to be a quick 1-2. No, sir. No,
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's quick.
Sir.
I'm not going to say it's quick. I'm just going to say Chucky comes out on top.
All right. That's a little bit more respect. That's a safe back pedal there. I appreciate that. I respect for Warwick Davis and Leprechaun, but that is the movie that I want to see, and I'll even just fucking throw it out there right out of the gate that my cliffhanger ending, you got to do the Freddy versus Jason thing. Like, one of them seems victorious. Maybe Chucky's walking away with Leprechaun's head and his eyes open, or vice versa. But then fucking lightning strikes, just because it's a thing that has to happen. And then all of a sudden, there's fucking Reagan from The Exorcist, and boom, you cut to black, and there's your credits, and that's tease up the next movie, which I call Little Monsters 2. It'd be fucking incredible, because Howie Mandel is going to referee that show down. It's like a Survivor Series,
Yes,
a Royal
Maurice.
Rumble, and American Horror Story all rolled into one. It's going to be beautiful.
I'd buy
I've
it.
been thinking about this for a long goddamn time. Like, that is the ending I need. And I think, you know, obviously you can't get Linda Blair to play Reagan anymore, but you could, you know, get a, you know, someone who's short, you know, like, you know, someone's young, 18, 19, who looks younger, and, you know, hair in the face, whiteout contact lenses, bunch of makeup. I'm sold. That's Reagan enough for me.
And I would love for Jennifer Aniston to make a cameo in the movie.
Oh.
You know what?
Yeah, let's call that.
That I would go see it just for that alone, like an end credit Marvel thing where it's Jennifer Aniston. And again, how cool would she be to just do that? How cool! I mean, just alone, she's a
maybe she's dating Alex Vincent.
Ah,
And they start swapping.
I love it.
They start swapping stories, and he, you know, oh man, this one time I had this doll, and she's like, oh, that doll was nothing compared to this leprechaun that once attacked me.
I'm sorry, but hashtag Andy Anderson. Andy Aniston.
Andy Anderson.
Andy Barkley Aniston. That's such a fucking tongue twister. So there are some pitches coming in the chat, unless one of you guys wants to go with the pitch before I transition to the chat for a moment here.
I kind of liked where we were going with the Atlantic City thing. Like
The Atlantic City thing, okay.
like the Atlantic City and the hood mixture kind of thing.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because I know New Jersey's nuts.
New Jersey is nuts, and I am all for a proper hood outing, because we've gone there twice and we haven't done it right yet. Seriously, it's like fucking fix it. Like I could go back to Vegas for 10 more movies, but they already did it great, so it's probably time to move on, you know. And obviously we know I'm not opposed to Leprechaun Hawaiian style, but I've
you
watched-
jerk. I was just thinking, like, of all the movies to do a Hawaiian,
Like,
why not Leprechaun? Of
like-
all the freaking movies, it would
Wherever it
him
is.
with the lei, sunglasses.
Wherever it is, Chucky's the one that finds the pot of gold or a gold coin. He thinks it's the amulet that he needs or whatever like that, or the amulet's in the pot of gold or something like that. And
fucking thunder and
I'll
paradise.
tell you. Okay,
I
I'll
love
tell you
it.
where I was gonna go. I actually think, and again, you know me, I like to think like if this is real in a pitch. And by the way, can you imagine this pitch meeting for Leprechaun in the Hood? Like, can you imagine sitting there in this meeting in '98, going like, "Look, I got this great idea. We own this Leprechaun thing, right? Ice-T." You know, like it's the Sharknado meeting. You know, it's
I
like, real?
I think it's a room full of white executives, and the one guy says iced tea, and they all say yes, please, thinking they were offered a beverage. And that's how the movie got greenlit, because then they were ashamed to admit they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Was Ice-T on Law and Order at this time?
No, this
before,
is
right?
like,
Before that.
or was it Ice-T or was it Ice Cube? No, it was Ice-T. Yeah,
It's Ice-T.
yeah.
It should have been Ice Cube though. You know,
If you wanted to be more hood.
I would not mind the like Leprechaun on Ice version that has Ice Cube, iced tea, and vanilla ice. That would be. That's the kind of ice that I need to see. And there's a lot of jewelry and cocaine. Anything else?
Well, this is what I was thinking. Like, how awesome would it be to take, Leprechaun, and right now a lot of the film market wants to do a lot of Asian market, overseas, box office, China box office.
Okay.
You should absolutely have Leprechaun in China.
In Japan.
Yakuza. Fuck
Ooh,
yeah.
Japan, China, like how awesome would that be?
Ninjas, Yakuza.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. You get Leprechaun versus the Yakuza, and all the luck. Like the whatever lucky. I'm not familiar
John
with.
Wick type
I'll
of
tell you
vibe
what,
almost.
he could chop their hands off all he wants. They're just gonna laugh in his face. They're like,
Yeah, but I think that should be where it goes next. We haven't got, because I also keep thinking too, like, I love the Leprechaun series because it keeps taking these like little subgenres into like great, like, okay, we are going to go to blaxploitation. We are going to go to comedy. We're going to go into space. Like, where would Leprechaun also go? Yeah, what are some cinema cliches or subgenres that it can go to?
And you can have the Mogwais come in there too.
Well,
that's
there's
what I'm
some
saying.
action.
Like,
I was just gonna say there's some action in the chat related to that, and I should get to that.
Sure.
While we got a sec here. Eric Ridgway says, since I've climbed out of my cave finally, what about Leprechaun and friends? Get the ghoulish to come. I think he says get the ghoulies to come out of the toilets. The trolls can make weird talking trees.
Yes, Reggie.
And then the Leprechaun can come out of body parts as he likes to do post space trip. Oh yes, I'm so there.
How
I even
great
made a
would-
mashup like this.
How
a while
great would
back.
that poster be where it's the toilet and Leprechaun out of the toilet? That's just cool.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Take my money.
I did do a Little Monsters 2 poster that had Howie Mandel, Chucky, Leprechaun, Ghoulies, a Gremlin,
Critters, the critters,
a critter. Yeah. I think I wanted to put Reagan in there as well, but I couldn't find a good image of her to use.
What about the other one, the Munchies?
Oh, the Munchies. I left the Munchies
The
out.
Munchies, Mickey, you bastard.
And you know something?
right.
While we're doing it,
I
got
the
it.
Dollar
I got it.
Tree
I got it.
Gremlins. Yeah.
Oh.
All no, but here's the fucking movie, right? You want to bring all these things together, right? What, first of all, these guys are all going to be working towards or at least relatively on the same side, the side of evil. So what force for good and gross could possibly go up against that force? And there's only one, and the answer is the Garbage Pail Kids. You have
Oh God.
redeem the Garbage Pail Kids. You do
We
it
do
fucking
need
live
a
action.
movie that respects them. And although
We do.
as a kid, I loved that movie. Who
I
doesn't
love that
love
movie so much.
who doesn't
We're gonna
love
do that movie on VCR. We have
yeah,
to. We have to
who
do it on
doesn't
VCR
who
Redux.
doesn't love a scene where a fart happens in front of a modeling runway show? I mean,
But that's what I'm telling you. The only way to defeat that kind of force is with Fart and Fred and Snotty Sam and all those great Garbage Pail Kid characters.
my
That's,
God, versus Leprechaun. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Jesus Christ, you're on to
Versus Leprechaun and the Ghoulies and the Gremlins and the Munchies and the Critters, all that shit. It's it's the end game of gross out little 80s shit. And yeah, get Chucky in there too. But I here's the thing I've been
impressive.
thinking. I'll get to mine in a sec, but I do want to finish up with the chat here. Again, our buddy Dustin from Retrofiend Radio says, I'd like to see Lep in Colonial Williamsburg, where he's killing all the historical actors who live there. You get the vibe of historical epic. but set in modern
Leprechaun
time.
back in
No.
time.
Not back in
No.
time, in present day. But with
And they're doing this
historical
the
actors.
Civil
It's a-
War
it's a
reenactment.
vintage
actor.
vibe.
Not like
I
Todd
love it. I
dressed
think
up.
it'd be
Not
hilarious
like
role model. It's like a LARP.
Todd dressed up like Ben Franklin.
It's like
Leprechaun
No.
LARP,
Glory
you know?
Leprechaun?
Oh,
It'd be like Glory Leprechaun or something like
Yeah.
that.
that would be
Leprechaun Glory.
incredible. And then he comes into a LARP thing too, because there's got to be an adjacent field where they're LARPing,
Yeah.
and they're like,
'Cause
"Oh my
there's always
God,
a
someone put a
Renaissance
wizard
fair."
troll!" Like,
Oh my gosh.
that would be
Oh,
hilarious.
Leprechaun at
Oh
a
my God.
Renaissance fair.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be
All this
badass.
shit. Leprechaun's fucking day out, where he just goes and does all this Ferris Bueller shit. Fucking amazing. It would be so goddamn good, and you know it. All he needs is a stupid vehicle to get around in, and I'm sold. Like
Just
a
give
smart
him the
car or
tricycle.
something.
Give the
Tricycle.
Oh my
tricycle.
gosh, that would actually work. He's like the king of the. He's king of the. Yeah, it's like Knight Riders.
Where's-
with
Wait,
freaking
Or his
leprechaun.
little
What if-
go-kart thing.
What
he
if he
had?
picks up Jigsaw's tricycle?
There you go.
I don't know much about Jigsaw, the tricycle, but yeah, I mean, could he? Maybe. I'm picturing.
Mickey,
something.
I was on your side on that one. I got where you were coming from.
I got it.
No, I got it. Gets around. No, I got it. He gets around in a fucking. He gets around in a fucking Power Wheels, right?
Power Wheels, yeah.
A Power
definitely
Wheels. It's the
Wheels.
perfect
Oh, you
fucking
gotta do
size
it, yeah.
for him. And
Wait,
he has
he's
the
got-
magic
he's-
to make
he's
it
got
go
the,
100 miles an hour. If he
He's got the
needs to.
Mercedes-Benz convertible Power Wheels, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden Corey Feldman comes out.
With
Not
his angels.
Feldman.
This is licensed to drive, but licensed to Leprechaun.
God.
Oh man.
So shout out. That's 2 great pitches in the chat so far. Also, our good friend Alex Bonafonte, his big pitch is in. Leprechaun runs for governor of California in a mockumentary a la Borat. I'm fucking sold already. I love this. Alex, thank you so much. Says the Leprechaun campaigns throughout all the crazy parts of the Golden State as an independent. Oh, I could not love anything more. This is amazing. Alex, fucking mic drop, dude. That is awesome. All we need is an opponent who could possibly run against the Leprechaun, and the answer is Randy Quaid.
Cheech.
I think
what is this, a Charles Band movie? You're putting in Cheech, you know, like what Evil Bong meets Leprechaun?
I'm telling you, Leprechaun versus Randy Quaid, those debates would be electric.
Randy
you would feel it.
Quaid.
It would be incredible. Or Gary Busey, maybe.
No, only if it's Randy Quaid, like Caddyshack, Randy Quaid. I accept no other Randy Quaid. All right. None of this long-bearded Randy Quaid. I want real Randy.
Cousin Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Independence Day. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. President. Shitter was full.
Yeah.
That's the real Randy Quaid. We've never seen it, but we will one day. So our good buddy from the Punk Rock Geek Den, Mr. Matt McKeever is in the chat. He says Chucky versus Leprechaun equals take my money. Thank you kindly, sir. And thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. He also says Leprechaun buddy cop movie with Leprechaun and a gremlin. The female one from Gremlins 2. Yes.
Could be his wife.
Yeah.
Could be his wife.
Let me just say the chat is on fucking fire today. This is incredible. All these pitches are way better than anything
Wait a minute.
You know.
What if it's 1,000 years from now and Leprechaun needs his wife, right?
Yeah.
And he runs into Jennifer Aniston. Because
I was just thinking that.
That's the one that got away.
You said it before.
Yeah.
That's the one that got away.
That's the Marvel ending. He's sitting there smoking a cigarette, camera dollies around, and it's Jennifer Aniston
Sneezing.
You know? But at the very end, she puts her feet on the table.
And
LA Gear.
Feet on the table. Feet on the table, LA Gear, and David Schwimmer comes and says, "God bless you."
Or he just like insecurely asks, like, what? What the? You know that guy? Who's that guy? Like, how do you know him? Why is he looking at me like that?
All I know is I want the guy that played Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
He did come back, actually.
Which one?
In one of the ones after Hornswoggle, like post Origins or some shit. I can't remember the name.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
One of the non-Warwick ones, he came back, and they tried to keep it like in canon, but obviously that's just tough.
I just want him back, but I want Warwick Davis. I mean, this doesn't happen without Warwick Davis. I mean, that's just
that to me is totally the way. There's just no reason he would. He has every. He's still young. He's like, practically my age, a little bit older than me.
Well, and strike it now too. Like, listen, Hollywood, quit being dumb. All right, strike now.
Seriously, he's about pay him.
They're about to do Willow 2. Like, it's going to happen on Disney Plus. Get him back. Like, just do it.
But seriously. I almost feel like like if you had Chucky versus Leprechaun. I mean, even though I know that the new show is happening and it's getting a real resurgence of Chucky, I just feel like that would bring both franchises back. It would give something to watch. More so for Leprechaun than Chucky, because obviously, like I said, it's got the show now going.
Yeah, the show is great so far. I really like the first episode.
But you want to be careful about it, because then you can get into that, like, and I know I'm only one of like 5 people who know this movie, but then you get into like, Demonic Toys versus Puppet Master, where all of a sudden, where it's like you want it to be what you want it to be, and it turns out to be, like, oh, this is great food, and they put A1 sauce on it,
or it's like putting ketchup on steak.
No, that's when
it's like when you're 9 and you have your first McRib, and you're like, this is amazing.
That's basically that's basically ketchup on steak.
Why don't we have McRibs every day?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's just heaven, sir.
This is better than real ribs. Way better than barbecue.
This is
whatever
great
it is.
horse meat. I love it.
I do like a McRib though. I'll be
I thought you
honest.
were gonna, Mickey. I thought you were gonna, I do love me some horse meat. Mm-mm.
I'm sure there's a fucking
Well,
date
I've
story.
eaten horse meat. It's not bad.
The
Horse
way you
meat.
just said, I love me the McRib. I can tell there's a fucking date story in there. Mac and Mickey.
There it is.
You're
Go
taking
for it.
like, come on, baby, it's our anniversary, and they got
For
the McRib back. It's
Leprechaun
my
4
best
in
day of my life.
space, we went on a date.
No, the McRib definitely wasn't part of a date.
The
First I got all
McRib
that free
was
spam,
not
and now
back.
this is amazing. Talk about romantic.
But if
Let me
LA
open-
Gear, if LA Gear ever
let
was,
me open this can of spam for you, dear.
LA Gear is the new Dawkins on this show, and I'm
Yep.
all fucking
now I
for it.
gotta go find some.
Now you gotta go buy.
Yeah, dude, I want to hear the LA. I want a whole LA Gear tracksuit now.
oh, I want that. I
That
want
would be-
that.
yeah.
Well, wear
that would be
those
fly.
instead of the terrible shirts you wear anyway.
Well, it's wintertime is coming, so those are the Hawaiian shirts of the season.
Maybe I can find like an LA Gear starter jacket somewhere or something.
Oh,
like
That's
that.
what I'm saying, man.
Oh, only if it's
Talk
one of those
about-
Remember the '90s ones with the teams that we all had? You know, with the
Yeah.
zip up.
I had the
you know?
Charlotte Hornets one.
For
I
some
got
reason,
stuck with
I had
the
a
shitty one
Phoenix
too.
down.
with
Why?
The Dolphins.
Why? But did any of you ever have the team you actually liked, or you just have a
No,
No,
You were like, oh my God, they have one, and my parents said yes right now. Oh, okay, I guess like Miami Dolphins it is.
Pretty
I had
much.
the-
You know?
I had the Vikings. I never even watched hockey. I don't know what. I don't know what the hell Vikings were. You know,
Vikings.
Like, I had
But
the Charlotte.
I had the starter jacket.
I had the Charlotte Hornets one because I like the colors. Number one, but number two, it's like you're like I could get a New York Knicks one because I'm a Knicks fan, but it's plain. It's whatever. You
Right.
know, it's-
All right, we are just murdering this staying on topic concept on this tonight's episode.
James,
about
your
fucking
pitch. James, we gotta hear your
Baked
pitch, man.
potatoes, jeans, and shirts and shit. Like, jeez.
I already threw mine out there. The Atlantic City.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The Atlantic City
Sounds
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I kind of wanted to build on that if I could. But
Yeah, go for
before I do that, also, if I could touch on the chat some more. Dustin from Retro Fiend is all sold on Lep's Day Out. New name in the chat,
Let's
Devin.
take. Ew.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds like a. That's like a
fucking-
disease from 1887. What'd you get? Lep's Day Out.
I got hepatitis C.
Lep's Day Out disease.
Oh no, don't go near him. He's got that Lep C, baby.
That's what
Um,
you. That's what you got on the Oregon Trail. You know. Wah, wah. I got Lep C.
Oh my God,
4.
Leprechaun on the Oregon Trail would fucking work too.
Oh, shit.
Or
Oh
Leprechaun
my
finding.
God. A Western Leprechaun.
Oh,
Oh,
Warwick wanted to
no.
do that. He was pushing for that, but then they couldn't agree on that or another Hood movie.
Because they're
and I think,
stupid.
yeah, well, when you have two great ideas, it's hard. They should have split the franchise in two and just had him working around the
how
clock, cranking out two
awesome
movies
would
a
that
year.
be?
They should
Oh, that would've been
leapfrog these
amazing.
movies the way fucking studios leapfrog the Call of Duty video games.
That's what I'm telling you. Leprechaun should always jump into a genre. That's the key to it. They went into space, go to a Western, go to, fight the Yakuza, right?
Go
Be
to
a martial
Saturday
artist.
detention.
Oh my God.
I was
Hey,
wondering,
we got you for 2 weeks.
why, how about a Leprechaun mob movie?
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
down
Like,
for
that'd
that.
be great. The Godfather, it's
Yeah.
instead
The
of
Leprechaun father,
Lep fellas,
the
Departed.
Lepfather.
Lep father.
The
Oh,
the
Lepfather.
Leparted.
The Lepard.
Because like,
Departed.
did we ever get to see him have kids?
And in this one, Leo does show up and acknowledges the horror.
He just shows up
Bastard.
as himself to talk about Critters fucking 3.
Lee-
So
Yeah.
Ian-
That's the end
so you
credit
can
scene.
Sleep at night.
End credit scene. Leo comes on the
I'm
screen and
telling
goes,
you,
"I did critters."
if I
did Critters.
I'd be fine. Mic drop
Oh
it.
my
I don't
God.
care. That's my goal in life. If I ever met that
Alright.
guy, I'd be like, you acknowledge Critters 3 and shut up.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be
Yes,
like,
I
"Can you
would.
can you sign this, sir?"
No,
Big
no,
fan.
I would.
Big fan.
No,
Big
I would.
fan.
I would have to get him to say, "You talk about Critters 3, and you talk now."
So the chat and the off-topic rants are so good today that I feel like we have no chance of finishing this on time. And I can't possibly read more than one comment at a time, because it sends us down these rabbit holes, which is great, which is what I love about the show. So I'll build on James's pitch if I could. Talking about Atlantic City and going back to the hood, I think you need the right partner in crime or the right force to go up against. And I'm never going to get over the fact that Steven Seagal was supposed to star in Predator 2, and he's the only guy to make more movies in the hood than the Leprechaun. So God damn it, let them do it together. And just make it, it would be great. Steven Seagal's cutting his way through bad guys, and so is the Leprechaun, and they're just going to fucking
God,
cross.
that would
That's
be
gonna be
that would be
great.
so beautiful.
Steven Seagal joins the Atlantic City PD.
And honestly, like, Seagal's fight scenes now are probably on par with what Warwick Davis could do with prosthetics and makeups and shit. Like,
Dude, and you
know.
could totally get Ice-T come back. You get Seagal and Ice-T in a movie again.
yes,
Like, just
dude,
do it.
just Battle of the
Yep.
Ponytails. I'm so for
Like,
it.
Hollywood, are you listening? Like, shut up and just do this now. We're giving you gold.
We've already
Seriously.
given Hollywood a bunch of good ideas to
Yeah,
roll
you
with.
know, we know you're watching Gino De Laurentiis. Just call me, okay? Just come on the show. Just email the channel, whatever it takes. We're there. And so is the chat, because again, new name in the chat, Devin Zane says the walking leprechauns. Survivors take on zombified leprechauns. I'm sold. Again, all these are fucking
good.
great.
Zombie movie. Oh, absolutely. Again,
Okay.
that's another genre. Jump in there, Leprechaun.
There you
Yeah. Fucking Lead Dead Revengeance or something.
go.
Oh,
But
we got
yeah,
Leprechaun. Only if he says, like, somebody has to be named Carl.
I'll
Just
tell
to
you
get
what, though.
Leprechaun to Carl.
bridging to Ian off what you were saying about just throwing it in different genres. I need Leprechaun in a dance movie, like Lep Up to the Streets or some shit like that. Step Up, Step by Lep. I don't care what
Yeah.
you call it.
Oh,
Well, you can have the Irish clog
Electric
in it,
Boogaloo, whatever.
Oh
I-
my
the
gosh.
clog dances and everything like that. And Leprechauns going to town.
a
You could do
Leprechaun.
And then
Leprechaun. You could do a Leprechaun road movie where he does all this shit too. I'm just throwing
Yep.
that out there.
I
And
need
then you have-
That's another fucking
Leprechaun.
great genre.
I need Leprechaun Christmas.
Yeah.
I need,
Oh,
I
okay.
need
Like a-
Deck the
like a
Hall.
Christmas
That's
Carol?
that's the one that's on ice in that.
Oh
one
my
has-
God.
Christmas
Mickey,
Carol.
why are you
Steve,
such a
yeah.
genius? Did you just hear what he said?
No, what do you say? Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
Christmas Carol with the Leprechaun. Holy
Oh
shit,
my
it's going
God,
through Leprechaun's
yes.
whole life.
Oh,
And it's
God.
like it's literally like he's the Scrooge of the Leprechaun world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd buy that. I'd watch that.
I'd watch
Well,
it.
Why are we
fucking watch
sitting
that.
here talking about this? Why are we not? That is genius, Mickey, you bastard. That is so genius.
So I do want to try and catch up with everything in the chat before we start to wrap things up. Again,
luck.
Dustin from Retrofiend Radio, he spins off on the political idea, says Leprechaun runs against Chucky in the primaries. I'm fucking all for that as well. These are just fire, all of these. And he also doubles down on, yes, Lep and the female gremlin, but it's a total noir homicide detective movie. That is perfection as well.
Another genre.
Oh,
Jump
God.
Leprechaun into noir.
I love this
it.
chat. This is incredible. Eric Ridgway says the girl from Happy Death Day would be the perfect hero to go against him. Her comedic timing is amazeballs.
Mhm.
Not sure. I haven't seen that movie,
Amazeballs.
but
I'd agree. I'll agree.
Yeah.
okay.
That was good.
Really.
Alex
We're just gonna ignore the amaze balls. You're all just gonna jump over that. Like
I'm agreeing with you.
I like.
I
amazeballs.
just
I
love
say
the
it all time.
amaze balls. Like it just, God, I love our audience. What?
Well, I'm surprised LA's balls isn't trending in the chat from all the LA gear.
Well, it
love
is
we've been
now.
doing here. Yeah. But also Alex Bonafonte says Mick Leprechaun with the Shamrock Shake. I think he's just being really funny. I like that too.
That sounds
It
good.
just sounds delicious also.
Yeah, why
Um,
did they make Leprechaun? That would have been a great character for the McRib. Can you imagine that '98 commercial?
The
like
Happy
giving
Meal
my-
we deserved was the Warwick Davis Leprechaun set
Oh
with
my
the
gosh.
decapitated fan boobs, like a girl's
Yes.
shirt that comes open to sharp fan blades when a guy's head goes into it.
Mhm.
Just the Happy Meal that
While
fucking-
she's wearing the LA gears.
NECA Toys, do your work. Yes, thank you. And then last thing in the chat before we wrap it up, Alex Bonafonte again says Clover Garnish. It's the horse meat from Ireland. And he also says the good, the bad, the short, which would be a great Western.
With
title.
that's genius, but
There
with
you go.
ketchup. But with ketchup.
And you need Clint Eastwood in
No.
there. With ketchup, that's optional. Ketchup optional. So James, tell us what's going on with the Punk Rock Geek Den these days. Anything new and exciting coming up with you guys?
Well, this coming week you'll be stepping in again.
Oh my God, that's terrible for you guys. I'm so
I know,
sorry.
right? It's such a horrible
Couldn't
time
find a
to be
real
there.
guest, huh?
Fucking A. No, we actually got one for you to talk with.
Oh yeah, I'm psyched,
Rachel
man. This is gonna be
Hoffman.
awesome.
She's a actress, producer, director, entrepreneur. She's a paranormal investigator. She's got a fuckload of movies coming up, all B horror.
Oh,
You know,
awesome.
the kind of shit that we love to talk about over there. And then we got some other fun shit coming up. We've got a contest going on. All you got to do is create us a logo. The drawing is on Halloween. The winner gets a signed Terrifier comic.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. All you got to do is send us your meme, mashup, whatever the hell you want it to be. Send it to the Punk Rock Geek Den Facebook page, and we will draw that winner and let you guys know.
You know, there's some very talented mashup artists who watch this show. Angie and Mike Saunders, and as well as Anthony Ramirez often watches the show. ADub 9099, shout out.
A-Dub.
You win a Terrifier comic.
Signed
well,
by
Angie and
Damian
Mike.
Leone and David Howard Thornton.
Who are
Nice.
great guys. Met them recently.
Nice.
The whole cast and crew, top notch class acts across the board. So we'll be very much looking forward to that. Mickey, Ian, anything going on in your guys' corner of the world? Any live shows coming up? Any plays?
Nothing spectacular for me. So-
Yes. Well, if you're in the Middletown, Delaware area, please come see Expo this weekend, an evening of Edgar Allan Poe, featuring all of our art students at the school, and it's going to be a good show. So
Certainly look forward to that. Wish I could be
Nice.
there for that one. So that just about does it. Of course, you Fandom fans might want to tune into Tuesday's Fear the Walking Dead reactor panel featuring our very own Governor Captain Kyle. And of course, we want you to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for the final episode of our 4 weeks of horror on VCR Redux, when we discover that the Wolfman still got nards for our Monster Squad 2 episode. As always, if there's a particular movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Punk Rock Geek Den, Fandom Spotlight, Rick Barth and the Line, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we will see you at the movies.